us. That's 904-777-4477. Or go to hairforme.com. That's hairforme.com. Ready to race Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today. Your top destination for indoor racing.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell & Harrell. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harrell & Harrell. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harrell & Harrell at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. AFC South rival Tennessee Titans have found their next head coach, hiring San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator Robert Saleh. Saleh joins Texans head coach D'Amico Ryans as AFC South coaches to previously be defensive coordinator of the Niners. Saleh and Liam Cohen got into it on the field following the Jaguars' win early on in the season. It's 54 degrees at 6 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You know, I was thinking about just playing Mary Jane, Tom Petty, the late Tom Petty, the Indiana girl on an Indiana night. What an amazing performance once again by the Hoosiers on a Monday in Fort Lauderdale. But I've always looked at it. Southern Fort Lauderdale, right? Actually, where the now Hard Rock Cafe is. Heck, I remember it was Joe Robbie Stadium, Pro Player Park, Pro Player Stadium. Then I think they started naming it after beers, like the flavor of the week. I think it was one of those that you actually stick fruit in. And now it is Hard Rock Cafe. It's an amazing facility. Seen U2 there a couple of times, and I have seen the Jaguars play there as well. Last night, electrifying. Surprised Miami did not have more fans, and it feels like it's Indiana who's getting ripped for having, you know, the Johnny-come-lately type of individuals. What do you expect? I mean, that organization was a complete train wreck. Why would you go? Why would you support a team? You're always going to have people who do a small number regardless of the set of circumstances. But let's face it, people love winners. And the greatest state that represents that is this one. And I think a lot of that is because the state of Florida is so transient. People just come, right? They don't leave, not too often, but for the most part, they come. And they come from every single direction. Yeah, I get it. There's a big body of water on one side of the state of Florida, but still, they come from every single direction. And Indiana last night took advantage of that. Guys spending, gals spending a tremendous amount of money because they've never been in a situation like this. Granted, it had been 20 plus years since the U had been in a huge game. But I just find it interesting today that people have nothing better to do social media wise than rip Indiana fans because they did not support this program. Whatever. I've seen it around here when the Jags, it's hard to get a ticket. The Knowles, the Gators, hard to get a ticket. See what it's like when those teams lose. See what it's like when they used to throw rats on the ice with the Florida Panthers. And I understand they are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, right? And they actually had a goalie fight last night. You see that, Aaron? big goalie fight. Bobrovsky went from one side of the ice all the way down to the other and dropped his gloves with a goaltender. We had some old school hockey on a Monday night.
Is that normal to go from one end to the other?
No, I mean, Patrick Waugh did it with Chris Osgood. Patrick Waugh did it with Vernon. But, I'm trying to remember the last time we've really seen a big-time goalie fight. We got that a night ago. I'll tell you, I've always felt that Tampa does hockey incredibly, and it's an unbelievable facility, right in the middle of the city. And I remember going to some games there. I took a vacation years ago and then went down south to I went to go see the Bruins play in Tampa. Then like a night later or 2 nights later, they played in South Florida, and it was literally night and day. I mean, you could hear a pin drop at that time in Miami when it was Bruins against Panthers. So you know what it's like. The Orlando Magic, all the professional teams as well. Okay. This state loves winners. And when they win, the ticket becomes pretty difficult to get. When they do not win, you can't give them away. That's just facts. And that also applies in a lot of other cities, including the town of Indiana, who becomes what? Along with the Hoosiers back in 1976, their basketball national championship, the only team that I am aware of to go undefeated in college basketball, go undefeated in college football. Now, plenty of teams have gone undefeated in college football, right? Not the case with college hoops. So congratulations, 16-0. I think it's one of the greatest stories in the history of the game. I, for one, completely wrong on my assessment of non-blue bloods being able to win a national championship. Part of me was pulling for Miami just to defend my comment, which now could be considered in many circles as absurd, okay? But this is where we are, and this is where this game is headed. Maybe it is an opportunity that we start to see schools that we've always looked at and said, hell, no way, not going to happen. Maybe they catch lightning in the bottle. Could Oregon be next? Could Texas A&M be next? Could Virginia Tech be next? I find it very hard to believe. But then again, I gave Indiana no opportunity of winning a national title. I've always believed it's been about the Blue Bloods, and it will remain with the Blue Bloods. We'll see. It's going to be just a crazy offseason. It already has been. For the most part, just about everything is set. There'll be some more movement. We'll have to see what the U does with the very latest on Darvin Mensah, who, Duke now is attempting to, I guess, sue him for breaking his NIL agreement. They already tried something, as far as litigation, and it was ruled that they are not allowed to prevent him from moving. But as always, when lawyers get involved, there'll be appeals, there'll be this, and that. So we'll actually see. My guess is he ends up at the U. Right? I mean, you talk about the Wild Wild West, but who knows? We'll see what ends up happening. But congratulations to Indiana, man. This team had 0 5-stars. They only had 6 4-stars. The rest were 3 stars, 2 stars, transfers, what have you. Okay? I think one of the greatest ways, the way it used to be in the world of college football, is that you would begin measuring the strength of a team by what? Recruiting classes. That's changed. But if you look at the last 4 years, okay, Indiana, 53rd, 60, 59, and 29. Those were their recruiting classes. Again, 0 5-stars. Only 6 4-stars. Yeah, look at that team last night. A lot of people around here talking about D'Angelo Pons, who's undersized, but he's a sticky corner. He also can lower the boom. I think he's perhaps a little short to be a shutdown corner in the NFL. Maybe he's better suited to be inside as a slot corner. I don't know, but there's a lot of talk here today in Duval that, could the Jaguars get him at number 56? That offensive line moved a lot of people around. Those are the two best offensive lines in college football last night. The Canes, by the way, I saw a mock draft today. They had picks going 3 and 4. Maliuga at 3 and Bain Jr. Man, what a monster he is at number 4. And, as a Florida State grad and as a guy that has watched Miami single-handedly cost Florida State at least 4 national titles, it was really hard not to like this team. They just brought it. Effort. They hit and played through the whistle. The way that defense was layered, you have 3 NFL guys, 2 in the first round, but 3 NFL guys on that defensive line, hard-hitting linebackers, an outstanding secondary, and then you get to that offensive line. It looked like before the season began, the wide receiver could absolutely be an issue for the Canes, right? Daniels, the transfer from Georgia, been there a couple of years, and then the just amazing season by Malachi Toney, who is absolutely sensational. I'll come right out and say it right now. I said it to JJ like week 2, week 3. He's my favorite guy to watch in college football, period. Okay? And I don't think I've ever said that about a Miami Hurricane. And there's been some great ones. I happen to really enjoy, probably my favorite all-time Miami Hurricane was Stephen McGuire, who's, he was a big back out of Brooklyn, and he never really was able to do anything in the NFL because of an injury, but I just really admired him and what he did from the Canes. He was a part of the wide right one. I'm trying to remember if he was a part of wide right too. I don't remember. I'm sorry. It was only 35 years ago when that actually did take place. But this was a fun team to watch, and they were well coached. Okay, mistakes hurt them a little bit last night. We talked about that going in with penalties, right? Some unwarranted ones. They also got away with some calls. I know the officials last night, and congratulations, by the way, to Indiana and their coach, Curt Cignetti, for coming out and ripping the officials at halftime. Here's the way he looked at it. He knew he was going to make a $2 million bonus by winning the national championship. You might as well lay it out there and tell the people what you are thinking. Coaches are so timid about getting fined. Remember when Doug Peterson didn't want to say anything about Trevor Lawrence taking the hit? He didn't want to come out and say this. He didn't want to come out and say that because he didn't want to get fined. And now here it is a couple of years later. What is it for Doug Peterson? He's making like $13,000 a day or something crazy like that. Boy, I really like Doug Peterson. But from that moment on, that really began to take a major turn for me. And it probably should for you. Oh, by the way, just something to think about that gets away from this subject. But just ask yourself this question. If Trevor got popped this year the way he got popped last year and laid concussed on the field at the bank, how do you think this year's team would have reacted? I think it would have been completely different from a year ago. And I'm telling you right now, my guess is that Liam Cohen wouldn't have taken his call sheet, put it up around his armpit, and stuck both hands in his pocket the way that Doug Peterson did. I think he would have fought for his quarterback. I think he would have gone crazy on the officials, okay? And I think the team absolutely would have reacted. Coaching is huge. It is absolutely a monster in this game. College and pro, congratulations to Curt Cignetti. And what about Robert Saleh? He now becomes arch enemy. Can we say number 1? Can we say 1A? Is the arch enemy now number 2? We all remember his just foolish comments that he made a year ago about stealing signs, and he's got some problems now. How do you dig out of the hole in Nashville? Jacksonville's done it before, but that is a problematic situation that he has taken over. They always tell you coaches are so much better second time around compared to when they first get an NFL job. We'll see what happens here with Robert Saleh. Okay. Ryan O'Halloran is coming up in about 5 minutes, all right? I will tell you, tonight's show is brought to you by Shmunez Vision. If you have not gotten your eyes examined in quite some time, right now is the opportunity for you. Make an appointment today. Just go to Shmunez Vision, and you'll notice that right now that it's dark, your eyes are not as strong as they were when you got up this morning. Listen, laser eye surgery could be so wonderful. Just imagine the rest of your life never having to worry about finding your readers, where'd you leave them, contacts, sleeping in them, regardless of what the set of circumstances are. Laser eye surgery, very affordable, no question about it. And it is one of the many options that you do have right now at Shmunez Vision. Most important thing is to make an appointment. So call over there today, or better yet, just go online. Just go to Shmunez Vision, make yourself an appointment. And Dr. Neil, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt, you're talking about more than 37 years worth of experience when it does come to surgery. All right, so we have all that to get to tonight. Let's get to Ryan O'Halloran. Let's maybe we'll get into Robert Saleh a little bit. I'd like to get more direct into what he believes the Jaguars are going to do as far as some maneuvers that could happen really as early as tomorrow. We've seen players already get released today. Could they make some moves here in the immediate future, or are they going to let some time go by? Let's get into it. Ryan O'Halloran joins Rick Ballou next on Into the Night.
Achieving greatness in sports radio.
Now, this is going to be the hardest, most difficult thing you ever attempted in your entire life. But you know what? When it's over,
Get emotional.
1010XL.
you guys are going to be champions.
Champions.
Where winners listen.
Champions.
Hey folks, it's Frank Frangie. All those festive holiday feasts probably have added a few extra pounds, but here's the thing. You can make this the year you finally lose the weight safely and for good. Now, you know by now my daughter Amber kicked off the journey with Awaken 180 weight loss back in the summer. You ready for this? She's lost 100 pounds in 6 months. Man, is she proud of that. 100 pounds. And she really did it with this really, really good plan. There's no shots, no medications, no supplements, just real food and a proven plan. That's right. With Awaken 180, you can still enjoy your favorite food and drink. No more yo-yo diets or feeling deprived. The structured program empowers you to control your eating without hunger. It really is doable. Don't just resolve to make the change. Make the change. Call Awaken 180 today and take that first small step. Book your consultation now, 1-844-346-1800, or visit awaken180weightloss.com. It worked for Amber, it really did, and it can work for you. Awaken 180 weight loss.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Fish know where to hide. Captain Kevin knows how to find them.
That's a big one.
Listen for the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
How'd you get your money so quick?
Hard Rock Bet's got lightning fast withdrawals.
Almost as fast as Dale Jr. valeting cars at this party.
Man, he's fast.
Hard Rock Bet's fast withdrawals have given me new motivation. Tips are appreciated.
Hard Rock Bet Sportsbook. Roll with us. New players bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Payable in bonus bets. Not a cash offer. Offered by Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Frank Frangie here, and Big Chief Tire makes it easier than ever to get the tires you need with the Big Chief credit card. No annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, and right now, $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and get the tires you need today. That's Big Chief Tire.
It's the Happy Renewal Year sale at Renewal by Anderson. Buy one, get one 40% off replacement windows and patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires January 31st. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Running a small business is tough, so the Florida Small Business Development Center at UNF provides a free business checkup, a personalized analysis that helps you boost profits, your online presence, and increase your company's value. No cost, no strings attached. It's guidance from experts who understand what it takes to succeed in business, whether you're just starting out or ready to expand. It's time to act. Complete a request for consulting at unf.edu/SBDC.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Good folks over at Alexander Law Practice. We'll get there momentarily, but let's bring in the columnist right now from the Florida Times Union. Always a lot of fun to talk with Ryan O'Halloran. Ryan, during the midst of the national championship game last night, did you get an opportunity to see the goalie fight?
Yeah. Well, Rick, it's always good to join you, and especially when we start off with a goalie fight. I tweeted out, I said, this is going to be the best sporting event in Fort Lauderdale Monday night, and I stand by that, even with the Mendoza fourth down run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it came out of nowhere. I think old Bob was looking for a spark, but love it, love it, love it.
I do as well, and obviously we're going to get to football, but I maintain this. You're an old school hockey like I am. I think if they still allowed them to fight, you would have such less cheap shots and stick work. They would settle it with their fists, and you can go back to the days when it was just out of control in the 70s, but there was never really any significant injuries.
Yeah, and there's a medium there, and you go back to the mid '90s. There was some Pierce Sixers back in the day, but those were rivalries. That's when I was a Minnesota North Stars fan. They played the Blackhawks and the Red Wings 8 times apiece.
Yeah,
they Bruins Canadians, Bruins Nordiques for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but those were the old days.
Yeah, Quebec. As a matter of fact, our brand new producer, Aaron Williams, is originally from Hartford. We were talking about the old school Hartford Whalers just the other day. All right, let's get to it, Ryan. What an unbelievable year here for Jacksonville. It does end perhaps a little bit too soon. I thought they were actually the better team on the field against Buffalo. Buffalo just has the arguably best player in the world. Outside of Trevor Lawrence, I would say that when I look at this team, the thing that showed the most promise for me is guys on the roster that this new coaching staff was able to develop. Do you agree with that? Or if not, is there something else?
No, I'll start there, and I'll agree with you. And the first two names when you were asking that, Rick, that came to mind were Brent Strange and Parker Washington. Their roles, I think they had this in mind for Strange, but they had Parker Washington pegged for probably punt returner / fourth receiver. Well, by the end of the season, he was Trevor Lawrence's favorite target. You look on defense, Devin Lloyd is the headliner there. When I got to town in mid-August, I was getting asked, is Devin Lloyd going to make the team? I was like, what? He's a starter. He's a linebacker. He can beat out Ventrell Miller, and he did. So those are just three of the names, but you can go all around this roster, offensive line, defensive line, that this coaching staff should be praised for the player development job they did. in addition to the personnel department bringing in all those veterans to help this team improve.
I don't think they can afford to pay Devin Lloyd as a off-the-ball linebacker the $19 to $20 million a year. What do you think is going to happen there?
Yeah, I would say if it gets to 14 or 15, you're out of the Jacksonville price range, and because they have to set a point for every position on the roster, and that spot is too much for them. That price is too much for them. So, do you draft somebody else in the third, fourth round to be a starter right away? Because that guy's going to play a lot of football. They play a ton of nickel, and then in dime situations, they go sometimes 3 linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 DBs. So I would be surprised if Devin Lloyd returns, and he should go chase the golden ring. He's earned it, and this is going to be his first and only crack at big money in free agency.
Yeah, and he's a few years older. I think he got here as like a 24-year-old rookie after his career at Utah. Ryan O'Halloran, our guest, of course, he is the columnist at the Florida Times-Union. Okay, and this is going to be wild in itself. I think right now you can make a case that in September it could be Walker Little, Cole Van Lannon, Anton Harrison, or perhaps even someone else who is your starting left tackle. What do you think the Jaguars are going to do there?
Well, I think their first choice would be Van Lannon. We didn't really get clarity on his knee injury, whether he would have even been available to play the Patriots in the second round. You signed somebody to $17 million a year. Left tackle is the plan. Walker Little, and I think the other easy decision is Anton Harrison at right tackle going into his 4th year, which is this contract year. I think the more interesting scenario is Walker Little. Is there a team out there that says, probably not a left tackle, but we like what he did at guard. We have a big need, and we'll give a 4th round pick for him. The Jaguars should listen to that because they are stuck with Patrick McCarry for another year, cap-wise, and they still like Wyatt Milam, who had an injured plague rookie year. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to know a lot about this line in April and May. Whereas opposed to last year, it went all the way down to the preseason finale. Yeah,
he's not their guy. He's a bulky, re-signed second contract guy. I really like Walker Little as a human being. He's a really good dude. But can you make the case? Does he fit into the new category of does this guy really love football?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think he played well at guard, which it might have been. He struggled at left tackle this year. I mean, my charting had him far and away their worst pass protector. He had a lot of penalties, including 2 in the playoff game. Did you see? I think at guard you saw a little bit more of that mean streak. And to me, it was Walker Little looking at himself in the mirror saying, "Hey, this may be my second career right here. Somebody may see me as a guard full time, and I can start for a couple more years. It may not be here at the Jaguars, but maybe somebody else somewhere else." So I think that at guard you got to be a little bit more of a fist fighter, and I think he showed that a little bit.
Hey, guys get other opportunities and they flourish. It's happened here. It's happened in some other places. I mean, look at K'Lavon Chaisson in New England. I mean, the guy looks like bat out of hell, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's that was a pick by Dave Caldwell. He was early, but he ended up being right. But it all depends on the situation, the coaching you get, the culture, and so good for Chaisson. I'm stunned that he's being this productive. I'm stunned that he had that kind of game in the playoffs, but he's been doing good stuff all year.
I want to get to your piece that you wrote a week ago that involved Max Crosby, but on our way there, the Brian Thomas Jr. situation is really interesting to me because I keep getting it, and I'm sure you do as well, when you hear from Jaguars fans that they should trade him, and I say no way. It's year 3 of a rookie deal, plus you'll never get value in return. Unless there's something that has happened behind the scenes that I'm unaware of, I'm holding on to him. What's your opinion?
I think you do unless you get a really good offer, which to me would be a second round pick. Because if you trade Brian Thomas, who replaces him? Travis Hunter? Well, I think they're going to need Travis Hunter at corner more than receiver next year. So I would chalk it up. Did they figure out how to use him? Did he figure out a way to make an impact? Then he got hurt. Then he sat for a couple weeks. So I think because of the salary cap hit, he's really affordable. late first-round contract. I would run it back with him and be clear with him. The drops have to stop. You will run over the middle of the field occasionally. Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers cannot be taking that kind of punishment for this team every down. So I think if I had to put a flyer out there, I would say that Thomas returns unless the Jaguars take a really big swing and they have to include him as part of the package.
All right. Well, you mentioned a big deal last week talking about Max Crosby. Perhaps he could be a part of that deal. I know when you wrote it, you had Trayvon Walker in there and some future first-round picks. Just again, I mean, realistically, the chances of them making a move like that, or if not, another very significant move here before free agent, once the league year gets underway.
Yeah, if I had to, where's the needle pointing, I would say a significant move. Crosby would be great. I think he would be a missing piece for this pass rush. They can talk about the pressures all they want. When it came down to crunch time, they didn't get enough sacks. They got one sack of Josh Allen in a playoff game, and he was playing with a bad knee, a bad foot, a bad hand, and a bad head. And so Crosby would fill that bill. You look at the landscape, though, Rick. Okay, what would be another big swing in a trade? Would it be a receiver? Would it be a corner? Those are premium positions that teams generally don't trade. Maybe do they sacrifice some draft capital and move higher up into the second round on night 2 of the draft? So Crosby would be my choice. Trey Hendrickson's going to be a free agent. Maybe he has some interest in coming to Jacksonville, but this is an attractive option. Playing in Orlando for a year is not great, but you can trade that for wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no doubt. And we saw what a ferocious pass rush has been like here throughout the playoffs, even last night to some extent in the college game. But just look at what Houston was able to do, forcing 4 fumbles by Drake May. And Trayvon Walker is a really good football player. But here becomes the problem is that his camp. They're going to bring up Aiden Hutchinson numbers. They're going to bring up these other free agents who have re-signed at that position as far as the numbers. And it feels like it is an overpay to give Trayvon Walker that amount of money. What do you think is going to end up happening here when it's all said and done?
Well, I think if they don't trade Walker, they under no circumstances should they extend him before the season. Because this was a sort of a lost year for Walker. And, people say, well, slide him inside. Well, you can't pay everybody. And the reason I included Trayvon in the trade for Crosby, that proposal, wasn't that I'm giving up on Walker, but you need money going out for money coming in. And if they trade Walker, they clear $15.1 million off their books.
Mm-hmm.
That pays for Crosby if you rework his deal. So that was the idea behind that swap. But if Walker doesn't have a new deal by the start of camp, he would be foolish to not show up. Hey, look at Travis Etienne.
No doubt.
Great season, going to cash in. That if I'm Walker's camp, that's what I look at.
All right. Certainly we'll talk. I'll have you back on again, certainly before free agency does get underway in about, 6 weeks or so. But, believe it or not, where I am, I don't think it happens with Lloyd because he's outpriced the market. I just don't value the running back position. I think it's too much for ETN. As far as free agents, for me, the number one guy to get re-signed is Buster Brown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you figure it doesn't seem like Greg Newsome is in their plans. That was more of a rental type trade. But yeah, Brown brings a lot of skill. I was impressed by him. Didn't know a lot about him. Then Jordan Lewis is coming off a foot injury, so maybe his status is a little iffy. You need some depth there. So you got Jarian Jones being a backup nickel. Travis Hunter, I think, would be the other starting corner. So I think Brown it should be a priority, and I would not let him hit the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you, and we'll see. And then of course next year, oh my God, they got to make some decisions. Out of all the faults that Trent Baalke had, he had a pretty good draft class the year that consisted of Johnson, Washington, and some of those later picks. As I let you go. When you mentioned Hunter, what's really a shame is that when he went down on a non-contact drill at the Miller Electric Center, that was apparently the week that they were really going to get to him and perhaps make him the number one wide receiver during Brian Thomas Jr.'s struggles. And Jaguars fans never got to see him in that moment.
They didn't, and that Ram game. I like how Liam Cohen did acknowledge, hey, the game was out of hand, but hey, let's get something out of that game in London. And they felt like they unlocked something between Lawrence and Hunter. And you remember early in the season, Rick, is Trevor Lawrence kind of subtly said, but it'd help if he would practice on offense more.
Mm-hmm.
Totally legit from a quarterback. You need time on task with a rookie receiver. I think that was trending that way. He gets hurt. They trade for Jacoby Myers. And now all of a sudden the conversation has justifiably turned toward, okay, where does this Jaguar team need him most? And obviously it's at corner in 2026. And then it'll be interesting to see how they mix him in. But there's a lot of other guys on offense who may play in the passing game with Hunter out. So and my thing is just don't force it. If he's an excellent corner and he's playing 100% of the snaps, that doesn't mean you need to play him in red zone plays because you have some of those guys already. So the Hunter thing, and I don't think we're going to see him until training camp with a helmet on. But then, okay, are his snaps managed? Is he all on defense? Do they let him try and become an elite corner before they add offense to his play?
I'm already over the post. I have 30 seconds remaining. I remember 3 years ago, people were saying that Press Taylor is a head coach in the making. You get to Grant Udinski. He just turned 30. Cleveland is a place where coaches go and die. Do you take that job at the age of 30, or do you wait for a better one to open as early as next year?
Real quick on this, Rick. I take the job because it's 1 at 32. And you look at Cliff Kingsbury and Bobby Slowick the last couple of years, removed themselves thinking they would get a better job. They ended up fired as OCs. If Udinski goes to Cleveland and he's fired at age 33, nobody's going to blame him. Look at Robert Saleh.
All right, there you go. Ryan O'Halloran, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan, always a lot of fun. Thank you.
All right, Rick, anytime.
There he goes. Good stuff there from the Jaguars insider and, of course, columnist with the Florida Times-Union. Let's get you in. Let's get you in. Let's get you involved with the program. Get your thoughts. Tonight's show brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. For starters, okay, you may not pick up the phone and call a lawyer because you think you're going to be charged. That is not the case, okay? You don't have to come up with $2,500 or $5K. There's no retainer fee when you call to Alexander Law Practice. Once you do, explain everything. For starters, you're going to get an immediate call back. Again, it's a free consultation. You may have a car that's totaled. You may be physically beaten up and you need to see a physical therapist or whatever. These are the type of questions that you have. Rick Alexander and his staff, they are going to put together for you a caring package, and they're going to work with you individually. That includes Rick Alexander. He's been doing this forever. He's got a small log as far as clients, and he does that for this very reason, because he's very personable and he's old school. So check him out. I hope you don't have to, because I hope you're not injured. But if it is the case, in most situations, it wasn't your fault. It was careless driving by someone else. If you are personally injured, go to Alexander Law Practice. That's your best bet. Go to the website, Alexander Law Practice. You can also hit him up at 400-6600. Let's get it from you. Let's get some reaction to what you heard Ryan O'Halloran and I just talk about to last night's national championship game. It's all good on a Tuesday edition of Into the Night.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
When the unexpected happens, you shouldn't have to face it alone. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, we're here to fight for you. Whether it's an auto accident or a slip and fall, our Jacksonville team takes care of every detail, from investigating the incident to securing multi-million-dollar verdicts, so you can focus on getting better. And remember, you don't pay a dime unless we win your case. Our commitment is 24/7, bringing you the real support from real people who really care. Campione Law, your dedicated partners in justice. Visit CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of classic rock with legendary Queensryche vocalist Jeff Tate.
Performing the hit album Operation Mindcrime for the final time.
One night only, January 28th at Florida Theater. Timeless hits from the unmistakable voice of Jeff Tate. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Don't wait for leaks to tell you it's time. Start the new year with a roof built to last from Romano Brothers Roofing, serving Jacksonville for over 45 years. Their family-owned team handles repairs, full replacements, and residential or commercial installs, including durable metal roofs. They even do remodels and additions. Call 904-246-5649 or visit RomanoBrothersRoofing.com for a free estimate. License number CCC 1328893.
This is Dave Barker with IHRS. Are you frustrated with those trendy pills and lotions that claim to make your hair thicker and fuller? Tired of your hair falling out? Our hair restoration solutions have helped over 10,000 men and women restore their hair in as little as 2 office visits.
Call 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477 or go to hairforme.com.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Hey gang, Prosser here. When it comes time to sell your home, don't worry about any, quote, problems you think might be related, because I've got the perfect team that will keep you right on track. In fact, they've got a guarantee that you can't beat. And that is Chad and Sandy, the agents I would call to sell my home. You see why? Your home sold guaranteed or they will buy it. Need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, and stress-free. But the promise is this. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jacksonville homes are selling, but many take months and a low price to sell. Getting top price means aggressive marketing. Chad and Sandy Newman are the Jacksonville experts who have proven systems to drive demand to sell your home. Darcy in San Jose said, I felt too isolated in my retirement. I wanted to buy in a different area, better suited for me. I spoke to several agents who didn't seem to care. I needed to find someone I could rely on. In come Chad and Sandy, and in 3 days, the home was sold. ChadandSandy.com or 904-414-6200.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
We're coming up on some Hall of Fames. Tonight will be baseball. It appears that Carlos Beltran is going to get in. Remember, the ERA committee announced recently that it was Jeff Kent. A lot of people hoping for Andruw Jones, such a good, complete baseball player with Atlanta. Frankly, I think Manny and A-Rod should both go in. I love the Baseball Writers Association of America. They have never done anything wrong. Instead of acknowledging that it was really about those who didn't do steroids, not those who did them during that era. It was just out of control. And they keeping these guys out, whether it's Clemens, Bonds, Palmeiro, Sheffield, McGuire, Sosa, Manny, A-Rod. Put them in. Put them all in. You got guys in who've taken them. I mean, why is Bagwell in? Why is Pudge Rodriguez in? Why do you allow some in, but you don't allow others? You know what else is a very interesting question? You could walk in on a football player, literally shooting up steroids, and not one of you would care. Isn't that amazing? How in the sport of baseball, you take steroids, and it's like the worst thing that you can ever do. Yet in football, you hear nothing. I mean, I remember them talking about, Julian Edelman. I know he doesn't have the numbers, but I think he should be a Hall of Famer. Look what he does in this. Julian Edelman got popped 4 games. breaking PEDs. It's like it doesn't care. On the flip side, you can cheat in baseball by taking a jackhammer to a baseball, by taking a tube of Vaseline and loading that bad boy up, and people will say, that's just part of the game, man. That's part of the great game. Yet if you're Tom Brady and you take like an ounce of air or one, dimension of whatever, of air out of a football, for 2 weeks, all people could say is what a cheat he is. Isn't it amazing how these two sports are really just completely different when it comes to the opinion by the media and the fans? There's a George Carlin skit out there you may want to listen to. For those of you who are my age or older, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For you younger people, you probably got to hop on the Google, but I think it will be worth listening to. I would recommend waiting until after this show, though, before you actually do that. Okay, Carson Beck is getting ripped, and he didn't shake hands after the game. People are saying, is his stock going to go down? Here's my look at Carson Beck. I like him. I think he's got maturity issues. He really comes across as a whiner and a complainer. I know he's from here and he's got a lot of fans. I'd rather have him yell and get in someone's face like a Brady, like a Rivers, than kind of whine. And he just carries himself with that body language and those facial expressions poorly. Walking off the field, not shaking hands. Is any of this stuff going to hurt him? No. Not if he can play. Maybe the thing that hurt him most last night was the underthrow on the final play of his career. Still, though, he's getting just destroyed. It's pretty interesting to me why, I'm not saying Johnny Mansell, but there's just a lot of people who dislike him. And, you can make the case that, feel sorry for him. Well, really? I mean, who's going to feel sorry for this guy? He's already making several $1 million a year. Hasn't gone to class in 2 years. College football is so corrupt right now. And frankly, I love it. I just wish they govern it a little bit. The other side of this is Mark Fletcher Jr., who had a monster game last night. The video of him punching Tyreek Tucker is not a good look. However, there are reports that Tucker said to Fletcher Jr. comments about his dad who passed last year. These are alleged, okay? If this did happen, then there's a good spot in hell for Tucker. I love trash talk. It is part of the game, but you have to draw the line in a couple of areas. And one is bringing up death of a family member. There's no part of that in the game. About everything else is good. Just about everything else is good. But you can't go down that road. And again, people are saying this is going to hurt his draft stock, this and that. Listen, he waited. He waited to shake the hand of Fernando Mendoza. I've heard nothing but outstanding things about Mark Fletcher Jr. Did he overreact during that time? People, it's so easy to say, oh, if he was a bigger man, he would have walked away. I don't agree with that. I don't. Not if he said what has been alleged, bringing up comments about his dad who died. That just is no need for that. But anyway, that's my opinion. As always, we are going to grab your opinion. All right, I did not get an opportunity to get into it with Ryan O'Halloran about Robert Saleh, who now becomes the new coach for the Tennessee Titans. I love it. A little bit of spice now in this division, which all of a sudden was once laughable. 9-8 teams, much like the NFC South, 9-8 teams can win the division. All of a sudden, this is going to be a very competitive one. Indianapolis has to figure out what they're going to do fully under center. They're going to go in Tennessee with year 2 with Cam Ward. They're going to have to make a lot of changes. I really question their front office. I really question their ownership. I think they're bottom of the barrel, but we'll see what ends up happening. And obviously Houston and Jacksonville, and I probably shouldn't have said it in that order, but as much as you rip as much as you rip Houston and I rip Houston, they've been to 3 straight divisional rounds. That's pretty impressive. They're also the only team in the history of the AFC to never make it to a championship game. Didn't know if you were aware of that. Okay, you want to comment on any of this stuff? Let's begin to line it up for our second hour, including O'Halloran's opinion on Udinski. My opinion is different, but look how I phrased the question. I am aware of the fact that you can be the hot guy right now, and that can go away. Again, no one wants to acknowledge it, but go back 3 years ago. Go back 4 years ago. Press Taylor was being looked upon as a future NFL head coach. He had the lingo. He had the look. He was a coach in waiting, right? And it got away from him. He was a disaster when he called plays. I don't believe the same thing would happen with Grant Udinski, but look at it this way. He's so good at what he does. He's also, for the most part, unchallenged at the age of 30. And I mean that respectfully. He's never called a play. You're going to hire a 30-year-old man in Cleveland who's never been a head coach and has never called a play. I mean, that's a gamble. That is a massive gamble. Okay? I hope he stays for another year. Hope he stays for another 2 years. Sure, I want to see him advance his career. Okay? But I just think it's a little bit too soon. Now, the ego is, let me finally be the one that can take this doormat of a franchise in Cleveland and finally produce a consistent winner. Finally get them to the Super Bowl. Again, the longstanding teams are Detroit and Cleveland. They've never been to a Super Bowl. Jacksonville and Houston haven't either. But Jacksonville and Houston have been in the league a heck of a lot less than the Lions and the Browns. And maybe he believes he can win with Shedeur Sanders. Maybe he believes he can go out there and really change it. I mean, that's, I think, the confidence that you got to have in order to be a head coach. But we'll see. If you want to comment on that, love to have you get on in as well. All right, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube tonight. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
It's a power conference with power forwards on fire. Florida's Thomas Ha and LSU's Markel Sutton. Gators Tigers tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
Know when it's time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt but hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. Hey, this is Tom McManus. Injuries suck, so check out Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers, with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases. And they make filing a claim easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
Everybody, Mike Dempsey here, and the cooler weather is upon us. Folks, it's the perfect time to try the new breakfast sandwich from Dandy Foods. A hearty one, too. A twin-pack cinnamon swirl and country sausage. You get the sweet first, then the salty kicks in, and trust me, they are addicting. And you'll find them all at daily stores around town. So the next time you're out and about, stop and get all that deliciousness in less than a minute from Dandy. Just one more reason to go out and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
If you missed it, get it on demand.
And you send those out on the line.
Find your 1010XL favorites where you find podcasts and at 1010XL.com. Channel 5. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
You waited forever for your new fence. Then, strangers show up. Subcontractors rushing the job. Sent by the company you trusted. Frustrating, right? Superior Fence and Rail promises better. Their professionally trained builders deliver quality you can trust. No subcontractors, no shortcuts. Just the superior craftsmanship your home deserves.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, Hicken here. Leave all the 2025 dirt and celebrate the new year with our friends from Zero Res. Carpets, tile, hardwood, LVP, area rugs, upholstery. Basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res, and don't forget about your air ducts. Zero Res has a 4.9 rating on Google with more than 8,000 reviews. Bring in the new year with 20% off carpet and upholstery cleaning, plus take $100 off your air duct cleaning when you mention 1010XL. 287-5727 or book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window
World, simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Been a lot of spirited responses from you on Trash Talk, some not suitable for air. But I appreciate it. You know, I think Trash Talk is fine. Again, you got to draw the line, though, man. You can't go that route. And again, everything's alleged. I think it was Mike Rump who may have put it on Twitter, former Kane, now part of the staff, who came out with that. And, you know, there's always going to be two sides to the story, right? And the truth's going to lie somewhere, maybe in between. Who knows? This is staggering. First of all, we'll begin the 7 o'clock hour with this. It's going to be a short segment because I went overboard with Ryan O'Halloran. But I want to get into the Cleveland Browns a little bit, where Grant Udinski remains the favorite at at minus $1.50. Translation, you lay $150 to win 100. I mean, he is the leader right now over current defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz, but Mike McDaniel is now pulled out of the running. He was scheduled to do an in-person interview tomorrow, and he is canceled. So, you know, not a big fan of that, because I would like to, obviously see Grant Udinski selfishly stick around here for another year. You know, I do understand that if you're offered a gig, it's going to be pretty tough to say no. I just got this email from a gaming entity that I got an email on this not too long ago. I don't think I'm allowed to mention the company anymore. Like Hard Rock Cafe they'll find me, they'll come down here, and I'll get reprimanded. It would be like me mentioning a Super Bowl, you know what, where you bring dips and fine meats and cheeses. You're not allowed to say that. The NFL Mafia, man, they'll have you swimming with the fishies, okay? It's the same deal here now. I don't think I'm allowed to mention the source anymore, okay? I mean, it's rules, restrictions, laws, all this stuff coming in. But anyway, this is about the most deplorable thing that I've read in quite some time. Another rough season for NFL fans, yada, yada, yada. This online sports book has opened the NFL transfer portal, giving fed-up fans a way to officially dump their team and commit to a new one. They go on and on and on and say, after what's going on in college football with the transfer portal, this experience lets fans publicly declare their breakup, shop for a new fan base, and even plead their case to be an official recruiter. It goes on and on and on and on. All right, a few years ago was a radio bit. I made a big deal after the Bruins had the best regular season record in the history of the National Hockey League, and then lost in 3 games, or 4 straight games after being up 3-0 to the Florida Panthers, that I had divorced Boston. And that I would not root for them any longer. Well, that's a lie. But I did make a massive change. And for regular listeners, I think you would agree with me. I almost never talk about Boston sports anymore. It's self-serving. It doesn't really fly in this market. Yeah, there's some Boston fans out there who do listen, but through the years and years and years and years and years, I would always find a way to bring up the Red Sox. You know, I admit I was a Pats fan even when they faced each other in '96 when I was on the ball. Since then, I have obviously changed. Celtics, the Bruins, my all-time favorite. I don't talk about them anymore. But that was a radio bit, okay, to say that I had divorced myself from them. This is one of the most cowardly acts of fandom that I can ever think of, to flat out give up your team and transfer over to another team. There's nothing wrong for picking one of these 4 teams, whether it's Seattle, LA, Denver, or New England, and saying, okay, I'd like to see them win the Super Bowl. Maybe I'll bet on them. Maybe I'll just root for them. That's one thing. But to transfer your loyalty and everything that you have been a part of, just the kind of, copycat, what's going on with the transfer portal, this is awful. This is absolutely pathetic, which means many people are going to do it. Because I don't know about you, but it seems like things that just feel so right today in life, the exact opposite happens. So, if you're one of them, let us know what team you're rooting for.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Palmer the throw, and he's sacked back at the 11-yard line. And it's the massive tackle, Marcus Stroud.
Jaguars pride forever. 1010XL.
Happy New Year from Awaken 180 Weight Loss. It is 2026. Is this what you've been waiting for? Is the time now for you to drop the weight with Awaken 180 Weight Loss? Look, the time was right for me. I had to do something. I remember looking at myself in the mirror, just couldn't believe it, man. I was going down a bad path. Found out about the great folks of Awaken 180 Weight Loss, started talking with a coach, and instantly I knew that is exactly what I needed. Awaken 180 changed my life. I lost over 100 pounds. Guys, take it from somebody that lost triple digits on this program. It worked for me. It will work for you. No shots, no pills. You do it the natural way with the terrific coaching of Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Call 844-346-1800 or go to Awaken180weightloss.com and do what I did with Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On January 20th, 1980, the Steelers beat the Rams 31-19 in Super Bowl 14 to become the first team to win 4 Super Bowls.
If you're thinking about getting a new roof sometime this year, Endless Summer Roofing can help. I'm Claudia, owner of Endless Summer Roofing. Stronger materials, expert installation, real peace of mind. A new roof isn't just an upgrade. It's the primary source of protection for your family home. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com for a free inspection today, and I'll make sure you're ready for tomorrow. Endless Summer Roofing. Protecting your home from Florida's endless summers.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
It may be winter in Northeast Florida, but it's one of the most important times to protect your lawn. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. Their winterizer strengthens roots and improves cold tolerance. Pre-emergent treatments stop spring weeds before they ever start. What that means is you set the stage for a thicker, greener lawn when spring arrives. Call today to schedule your winter lawn treatment with Julington Creek Pest Control. Our family serving yours since 1984.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Another coaching hire today. This time it's Robert Saleh, who said 2 words when he was in Jacksonville. Very unassuming. Really didn't say much. And then again, same deal with Doug Marrone. Doug Marrone said nothing until he was, the interim head coach, and then obviously got the job as a head coach. Maybe that's just the way of, position coaches. Here, Robert Saleh was a linebacker coach under Todd Wash, the defensive coordinator. But he has really spiced things up since he made that foolish comment about stealing signs, and now Jacksonville's going to get him home and away twice a year. So that move made 6 jobs still open. Among them, Anthony Campanile looks like he's out in Miami, right? Jeff Hafley is in, worked under him in Green Bay. And Campanile did interview. He also wrapped up his interview today in Baltimore. Okay, the Ravens announced that was complete. It was a second interview. The first was via Zoom with Grant Udinski in Cleveland. He completed his second interview yesterday, and he is the leader. Minus 150 right now to be the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. And it's a significant drop from him to Jim Schwartz, who's plus 200. Schwartz is the current defensive coordinator of the Cleveland Browns. For those of you who don't follow this, minus 150 means you got to lay $150 to win 100. Plus 200 means you lay $100, you win back 200. That's a pretty big difference. Mike McDaniel plus 500, and he has taken himself out. That came in an hour ago. So the number 3 guy on this list is out. Sean McDermott, it's easy for me to sit here and say it, but that's not where I'm going if I'm Sean McDermott. As a consistent playoff coach, that is not where I would end up. That is not where I would take things. Todd Monken, 12-1. Tommy Reese, 16-1. Clint Kubiak, 25-1. Jesse Minter, 33-1. Aaron Williams, you just sent me some stuff. What's going on?
A little drama brewing over in Tampa.
Yeah.
Between a Falcons beat writer and Baker Mayfield.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying that him and Who was it? It was Baker and
it appears that Baker deleted this quote. Is that true? Kevin Stefanski, a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
At quarterback in
Yeah,
Cleveland.
him and Deshaun Watson were dumpster fires and called him a failure. And Baker replied with, "Can't wait to see you for 2 times a year, coach."
But he's right. He did fail. And that's not a false quote. I mean, Baker failed in Cleveland. Baker went to Carolina. I mean, didn't he go out to L.A. for a year? Wasn't he a backup for the Rams for a year?
Yep.
I mean, he was a massive reclamation project.
But, it starts a little drama early on.
Yeah. I mean, I wish there was more of this. So there you go. Baker Mayfield popping off just a little bit. Speaking of the media, do you see the massive mistake that Diana Rossini made yesterday? She's getting really destroyed on the mean streets of Twitter, all right, which no one can win. I mean, you can go through Harlem, you can go through Southie, you can go through Moncrief, you can go through, what am I thinking of in L.A., Crenshaw. You can go through, while you're there, Compton. You can go through all of these mean streets. Nothing is worse than the mean streets of Twitter. And yesterday, Diana Rossini came out and wondered aloud why Tom Brady and the Las Vegas Raiders were interviewing coaching candidates while in Miami. She went on to say, considering the Dolphins have a coaching vacancy, why would Brady and the folks in Las Vegas do the same thing? Well, it was pointed out to Diana Rossini that the reason why they're there is to watch the guy they're going to draft number 1 in Fernando Mendoza. And she just got hammered. Everything from DEI to, think before you post and this and that. Diana Rossini's fine. I can't look past the way she handled the Doug Marrone deal here. If you remember, she announced that Doug Marrone was getting fired to the point where Shad Khan's publicist, Jim Woodcock, had to write a letter saying that that was not the case. And instead of owning it and acknowledging it, all Diana Rossini did was laugh. And somehow she got promoted for it. She got promoted at ESPN. She's gone now. I don't even know where she is now. But I'm sure she doubled her money. So, again, I think the people, the fine people who are sports fans, like it when you admit that you're wrong. How did I begin tonight's program? By admitting that I'm wrong. Indiana went 16-0. How many times have I said on these airwaves that schools like Indiana are never going to win a national title? Never going to happen. Okay? And it did. I was wrong. It's a lot easier to say you're wrong and brag as opposed to brag when you're right. Like, for instance, me saying the Buffalo Bills are never going to win a Super Bowl in our lifetime. I was right. I don't want to sound like a braggart. I don't want to come out here and say, look at me. I nailed it. It's a lot easier to say I was wrong. I'm not asking for forgiveness. If you want to rip me, you can rip me. I didn't see Indiana going 16-0 and winning a national championship. So there you have it. It's 0463 Cult of Personality. CM Punk coming on the show. Is that what you played? Coming out one of the breaks there, Aaron?
I did the last one.
CM Punk. Saw him in Chicago way back when. I believe it was him. I was kind of up against it. That was when at the Allstate Arena, one time when Shane McMahon came way up from above and dove on a table, if I remember. Again, I used to get slightly up against it when I would go to the wrestling events there in Chicago. We haven't seen a lot of wrestling here outside of Tony Khan's wrestling, right? I'm either in it or I'm out of it. Right now, I'm completely removed from the wrestling game. I know they'll bring me back in at some point. Are you a wrestling fan?
I am, yeah. It's almost the road to WrestleMania starting soon. Since
Okay.
in April.
All right. I say I love old school, and I love old school, East Coast wrestling. That's what I was born with, even though my dad hated it. He would tell us it's fake. It was like the worst thing. If you have young children in the car, you might want to turn down the radio for, let's say, 5 to 7 seconds. I think I took that worse when my dad told me that than when old St. Nick landed on the roof. I'll be honest with you. 11-17 blue. When players paint crosses on their face, eye black, but don't back it up with their action, is bothersome to me. Carson Beck yesterday and Jalen Ramsey is another one that comes to mind. Okay. It's your opinion. I'm not going to, say much more than that. I am never going to get anywhere by bringing up religion on this program. And I am so non-observant in a lot of issues and a lot of things. Like, for instance, my girlfriend was gone for 2 weeks to Dallas after Christmas, and she's like, "Did you take the wreath off the front door?" And I was like, I didn't even realize there was a wreath on the front door. So the answer to that question was no. Now, what you got to ask yourself is, did I, but I acted like I didn't just so I didn't have to take it off. That's another part of the story. But to be honest with you, I had no idea that Carson Beck had any of that stuff on his face yesterday. I didn't see it. 0253 Blue Rick, the movie Departed about Whitey Bulger was a great movie. It was, but the book is so much better. Black Mass is a tremendous book. That was based on it. Nicholson at times played Whitey Bulger. I love Nicholson in that. And he goes, "What the hell are you doing in my bar?" I mean, it's such great Nicholson right there in Southie. And it involved a little bit more of the Rhode Island, the Patriarch family and Jerry and Giulio of the, the Italian mafia. And remember, that's why Whitey Bulger had that relationship with the FBI and John Connolly forever. Because he was massively involved in the end of the Italian mob in the North End. Movie's good. The book is way better. Black Mass. Outstanding book. Let's go to 93-95. Fans of baseball so much loved the home run chase between Sosa and McGuire. They made commercials thanking them for saving baseball, but neither of them will get in the Hall of Fame. It's an absolute abomination. It is. I mean, I don't know if you remember the name Brian McRae. He's the son of Hal McRae. And he was my baseball insider the 7 years I was in Chicago. Outstanding human being, Brian McRae. And he would tell us about when he was in Seattle, there were 2 pots of coffee. One was leaded and one was unleaded. And whether it was Reds or Greenies, you had all sorts of different uppers or speed or whatever. Baseball has always gone through a certain time where you're ahead of the chemist or you're ahead of the doctors who are going to, test your urine or whatever it may be. They've always cheated in baseball. And I don't know if it was the personality. So many people disliked Bonds, and he became the poster child of it. I can't remember. Game of Shadows. That's another really, really good book. The Jackie Joyner Kersey part of it, because I'm not a huge track guy, even though I admire her talent and all that got a little long for me, but everything with the Balco investigation and, Gary Sheffield taking the cream and apparently not knowing that he took the cream, but everything that Barry Bonds did was, he was cheating. But it didn't make him hit the ball better. It didn't improve his eyesight, okay? What it did is it put together strength through the bumps and bruises and the grind of the game. which went on day after day after day. I tell you another outstanding book. Jose Canseco, Juiced. I remember when that came out and I interviewed him when it came out. No one believed that guy. Do you know if you go and you read Juiced, everything in that book, including him and McGuire, behind a closed door in a bathroom stall, shooting up one another. Everything in that book is true. The entire thing is true. And again, when it came out, like, who wrote this? Vince McMahon? It's like, there's no way this is believable. It's just amazing to me. There's another guy who was completely scarred, Jose Canseco. I don't know if he lived up to the eventual overall baseball numbers. And again, he was a non-likable guy, but he was the first 40-40 guy in Major League Baseball. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight till 8.
Do you realize where we are?
No.
Look around, man. The clean, modern aesthetic, the cool blue color palette. We're in
1010XL.
Like many football fans in Jacksonville, I love defense. I am attorney Lee Lockett, and I'm here to tell you that defense in the courtroom is important as well. That's because penalties for DUI are much more serious than penalties on the gridiron. If you or someone you know is facing a DUI, call us for a free case analysis now. Know before you blow 858-9818. Put my more than 20 years of experience to work for you. Office is Jacksonville, serving all surrounding counties. Call 858-9818 or go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
XL Primetime is back where they belong.
Wait a minute, I know where that is.
Lunch is on Josie, Matt Hayes, and Leon.
You could lay a little barbecue on us?
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
But somebody else is going to have to cook it.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out, equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers.
Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us all better, faster, stronger.
Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, a lot of folks getting after it on YouTube tonight. 1010XL Into the Night. We got a lot of Roger Waters comments and lyrics. You know what Roger Waters is, by any chance?
I do
Aaron
not.
Williams, I'll buy your lunch for the rest of the month if you do.
I do not.
All right, bassist and one of the original members of Pink Floyd. Then again, they only had 5 members. David Gilmour replacing, obviously, Syd Barrett, who just went flat out crazy. Robert Lemison says, Ballou, Grant's second interview is Friday. Well, wait a minute. I read all over the place yesterday and Sunday that he, after his Saturday 3-hour Zoom interview that he was interviewing in person yesterday. Maybe that's not the case. I could be wrong. That's why I always credit others. So when I'm wrong, they're wrong. But I'm not going to blame anyone else. If that's not the case, that is not the case. 46-44. First, we need a ranking system for portal dudes. How are you going to do that? I'm surprised you can't bet on the portal yet. You probably can. You just have to go underground. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't think anyone knows what they're going to do. But if you were to be honest about this, where's it going to come from? I'll tell you. It's going to come from the Southeastern Conference. The Big Ten has now won 3 titles in a row. Michigan, Ohio State, and I just sitting here saying Indiana, your national champion, is really bizarre to me. It just is. And congratulations to them. But the SEC always flexes, and the SEC has been traditionally the one conference that has changed this game. They had a lot to do with the Alliance. They initiated the Bowl Championship Series with Roy Kramer. They brought to you Conference Championship Saturday. I wish they didn't break apart the divisions. Frankly, I miss it in every conference. But I think that is where it is going to come from. The problem is right now, the Big Ten doesn't have to react to anyone else. The Big Ten is on top. They have won 3 straight titles. You can't point to the NCAA. You can't point to anyone else and say they're going to force changes. Number one on the agenda right now is to get to a 16-team college football playoff. And the college football playoff is working. You had a number 9 against a number 8 a year ago, and you had a number 10 play with number 1 for 60 minutes, 59 minutes and 30 seconds to be exact with you yesterday. And that's going to be first. I have no idea how they could possibly put this together. And again, they've allowed this to get so sideways. The easiest way for me would be to do 2 things. Salary cap it. Cap it. You can pay guys, but this is what you can do. And also, you should not be able to go year after year after year change. Go from school to school to school to school. Something has to, it's 1 year that you sit out if you do it a second time. First year, no problem. If you want to pack up and leave and go somewhere else, fine. That's part of it. But if you want to pack up a second time, you should sit out a year. Or you should put into it, you're not allowed to transfer within the same conference. You have to begin to make some of those type of changes. But you got to get all these people to agree. It could be a big time problem. 73-93, Rick. The Bruins strike again with another classic attack without being caught on. They'd attribute to a tie 33 Big Z. But due to it against the Seattle Kraken, a team he was never even a team when he played. Bruins need to Celtics. Yeah, okay. I love the Bruins. You love the Bruins. Most of our listeners do not. Wasn't aware of that. Didn't I see Big Z? Oh, he was on the field for the Patriots in the snow over the weekend. For those of you who don't know Big Z, that is Zdeno Chara, who at 6'9" was massive. Hall of Famer. 47-04 Blue. It's not Walker Josh Hines Allen's fault for the lack of sacks. It's the lack of the interior rush. Let's say we trade up in the first round and try to find the next Aaron Donald. Oh, yeah. Well, if you find the next Aaron Donald, I got news for you. That'll help. 47-04. I totally agree with this. And when they lost a week ago and I got on here either Monday or Tuesday, I kept looking at team needs and you know, everyone initially came out with what's next? What does Jacksonville need to do? There was no question about it, and I haven't changed in a week, okay? It's the interior defensive line. And they went into the season undermanned. They really thought it was going to be, a 3-man rotation where Devon Hamilton had a really good year, but I still believe Devon Hamilton is a space eater. He takes on a blocker, hopefully 2, and is better served in that responsibility against the run than he is getting to the quarterback. Eric Armstead improved night and day from a year ago. Until what? Until he got injured. Then his production went down in the last 5 or 6 weeks. Finally, Mason Smith was on a milk carton, and that is very problematic. And I think right now he's in great danger of not making this team unless he improves significantly. He's got to get stronger. He's got to get wiser. He's got to get smarter. This is a second-round talent, and what were we told when he was snatched up? He's got first-round ability. Right now, if you were to redo the draft, he wouldn't even get selected. He's been a big-time letdown. And then you filled in pieces here, pieces there. They did some pretty decent work, certainly including Matt Dickerson and Austin Johnson. But I would agree with that, 4704. Your previous 5602 Blue, your previous stance on non-blue bloods winning the title would have held true till the end of time if it wasn't for the NIL era. Yeah, well, that's where we're at. And you can either adjust or you're going to get buried. And Mike Norvell got ahead of it. Okay, he didn't get all of these guys from blue. He didn't get all of these players who were very productive at other schools. Keon Coleman put together some decent numbers at Michigan State. Jeremiah Bell put together some decent numbers at South Carolina. But go back and look at what Trey Benson did at Oregon. Go back and look at what Javon, Verse did, Jared Verse did at Albany. Braden Fisk had a pretty decent career. I can't remember if it was Eastern or Western Michigan where he came from, but it worked. And then everyone else caught up to him. And now he can't get the guys. So, it's all what it's all what you're able to do recently. Look at this deal with Miami, man. Miami just keeps getting quarterbacks. They're going to get Mensah here. I guess it's going to be a tad bit ugly. I mean, Duke's trying to sue him from leaving. This is a divorce, Duke. When the wife decides that that's it and she packs up and leaves or kicks you to the couch and says it's over, it's over. I mean, why fight for something that she doesn't want anymore? Mensah don't want to play at Duke anymore. He went from Tulane to Duke. He's a very good quarterback. He wants to go to Miami. I'm very surprised that Ty Simpson said no to Miami. $6 million in 1 year in Miami. I mean, can you think of a better place to be for 1 year if you were making $6 million than Miami? You're almost like an NFL player in an NFL city, in an incredible city. I'm not saying I'd like to live in Miami, okay? But for a year, oh my gosh, with that type of status. And again, I don't know if Simpson or any of the, I don't know if he's, got a girlfriend or if he's engaged or whatever it is, but can you imagine what the ladies would be like if you were the starting quarterback at the U and you're making $6 million a year? Oh my God. I got to take a break. I can't even continue after thinking about that.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
Do you think I understand a word you say?
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Get these cuffs off. Leave the cuffs on. Right now. Get them off. Leave them on! Oh, boy.
The Drill.
So I guess that makes us partners.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning, then deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Pages in your mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go. Money Pages in your mailbox right now.
New year, new lifetime dreams. Let's build them together. Jeff Breyer here with the Lifetime Family of Companies, your local backyard
and indoor
home improvement specialists.
That's right, Dad. Lifetime enclosures, lifetime flooring, and lifetime windows.
Glass and screen enclosures, outdoor kitchens, pergolas, replacement windows, all to enhance your home's livability and value. And a huge flooring showroom with thousands of the latest tile, LVP, hardwood, and carpet selections to help you fall in love with your home again.
Come experience the lifetime difference. Call or visit one of our showrooms today for our limited lifetime offers.
Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida. And inside the flip side, the action never stops. If you're tired of hearing about the best games after the final whistle, don't get left on the sidelines. Whether it's a unique sporting event you've never seen, a weekend with the family, or a winning date night, Visit Jacksonville is your ultimate playbook. Get in the game. Head to visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jacks app today and see everything coming in 2026. Jacksonville. Experience the flip side.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Playoff football calls for the grill. The January Rancher Box from local Fair Jacks is packed with pasture-raised beef, free-range chicken, and pork. All local, all delivered. Stock up for game day at localfairjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
6 head coaching jobs remain today within the division. Former linebackers coach Robert Saleh gets his second head coaching job. Of course, he was previously in New York, went back to San Francisco, and currently was the defensive coordinator. He now takes over for the Tennessee Titans. That was announced a little bit earlier today. Mike McDaniel says no thanks to Cleveland, expected to interview tomorrow. We'll see what ends up happening. Odds have Grant Udinski is the favorite to land the gig in Cleveland at -150. Congratulations to Andrew Jones and Carlos Beltran. Moments ago, they have been announced as Hall of Famers. Let's see, 84.2% for Carlos Beltran. And Andrew Jones, 78.4%. You needed 75% in order to get in. And, back in December, Jeff Kent was voted in by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee. So 3 new players will be inducted coming up this year. You know, the Football Hall of Fame in very early February, they're going to make their announcement as well. Let's see here. Chase Utley was third, 59.1. Gosh. Chase Utley, a Hall of Famer? Really? Andy Pettit, 48.5. There's another steroid user, right? Felix Hernandez, 46.1. A-Rod and Manny Ramirez, 40 and 38.8, respectively. 10th year on the ballot for Manny Hegom. My all-time favorite Red Sox. Outside of those I grew up with, like Jim Rice, Freglin, Carlton Fisk, Carl Yastrzemski, Louis Tiant, Dwight Evans, etc. Bobby Abreu, 30.8. Jimmy Rollins, 25.4. That's really it. Cole Hamels, 23.8. Dustin Pedroia, 20.7. Mark Burley, 20. Omar Vizquel. I thought Vizquel would get a little bit more credit because he's such a great defensive shortstop. I mean, he's right there with Ozzie Smith and, you know, Mark Belanger and great defensive players. But that is not the case. And you just look at these numbers. Ugh. Carlos Beltran had a WAR of 70, and the new math is important. The OPS plus 119. 2,725 hits, 435 home runs, a career 279 hitter. Scored a ton of runs, 1,582, and had 1,587 as far as ribbies. Stole 312 bases, had an on-base percentage of 350. Slugging 486, OPS 837. Don't know if he had any gold gloves like Jones did. Let's see, he had 3 gold gloves. So there you go, Carlos Beltran. Kansas City, the New York Mets, St. Louis, New York, Texas, and then Houston. Went all over the place at the end of his career. Andruw Jones had a WAR of 62.7. Had an OPS plus of 111. Let's see here. 1,933 hits, 1,204 runs, 383 doubles, 36 triples, 434 bombs for Andruw Jones, including 51 in 2005. Wow. 128 ribbies that year as well. 1,289 RBIs. Stole 152 bases. Hit 254. That's down. It is. Had an on-base percentage of 337. Again, didn't walk an awful lot. His OPS was 823 with a slugging percentage of 486. But he was a tremendous defensive outfielder. And one of the great center fielders of that era. I mean, right there with Jim Edmonds. Right there with Ken Griffey Jr. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have him for 10 Golden Gloves. There you go. Andruw Jones is in. That's good news. Braves fans going to love him. Of course, he wrapped up. After he got out of Atlanta, he went to the Dodgers. I hate the end of careers. They really stink. You know, if you spend all your, you know, Franco Harris ending up in Seattle, Tony Dorsett ending up in Denver, Emmitt Smith ending up in Arizona, O.J. Simpson ending up in San Francisco, Fred Taylor ending up in New England. I mean, I understand they want to hang on a little bit, but Andruw Jones played what? 12, 13 years in Atlanta. Got out after the 2007 season. Then he spent 2008 with the Dodgers, 2009 with the Texas Rangers, 2010 with the Chicago White Sox. And I totally forgot this. He spent 2011 and 12 with the New York Yankees. Wow. I don't remember that. But he is in. Hall of Fame. He gets in before Dale Murphy. I thought the Era Committee would, you know, consider Dale Murphy. I also thought they would consider Steve Garvey. I mean, listen, they've watered this thing down pathetically. I just don't understand why Joe Carter's not in. Don't understand why, you know, if you want to make a case for Thurman Munson, I'll listen to you. You want to make a case for Don Mattingly, I'll listen to you. Make a case for Dwight Evans, I'll listen to you. Joe Carter, I'll listen to you. Steve Garvey, I'll listen to you. It's been watered down completely. But I don't know. Jeff Kent in last month, this month. Andrew Jones, as well as Carlos Beltran.
XL Digital Studios, brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Savior Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit HollisPools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
Game days aren't the only win happening in the 904. Best of Bold City named 904 Gutters with a Z the #1 seamless gutter company in Duval. Like the team's O-line protects their QB. Call the winning team at 904 Gutters with a Z to protect your home from the rain.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
When persistent plumbing problems leave you feeling flushed, don't panic. Call Roland Reich. They quote all pricing in advance, so your only surprise is how quickly they'll solve your issue. Roland Reich Plumbing, PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and this month I want to talk to you about welcoming the winds of change in your life. But so often, when we see the winds of change coming our way, our immediate response is to fight it. Friends, when you see things in your life changing, when the winds of change are coming your way, don't fight it, but embrace it. Recognize that God is stirring you up so that you too can soar like an eagle.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
Ready to race Jacksonville? Indoor racing anytime at K1 Speed. Fast electric karts, real competition, and family fun. Buy 2 races, get 1 free every Tuesday. Cruise over to K1 Speed Jacksonville today, your top destination for indoor racing.
The First Coast Games is an annual team building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, winding down with you tomorrow night, 6 to 8. Looking forward to that. Philly Godfather, his picks, John Osher. Very latest on the Jags, all that good stuff. Only 22 hours away. I can wait for that. But once it gets here, I'll be fired up to go. 3103, Rick, I'm 46 years of age, grew up as a Gator, going to Gator football games, Jaguar games, and all of that stuff. And, man, I've just lost my care about football. It started a couple of years ago. Am I in the minority? Talked to some other buddies that are diehard SEC guys with different schools, and the whole player is changing every year and stuff like this. It has zapped the passion. But I don't know if I might be in the minority. I've shifted to college baseball. That's my number one sport to watch now. College baseball is outstanding. This is very interesting because they'll tell you ratings are up. They'll say that these college football playoff games, numbers are up. Regular season games, numbers are up. There's a new spirit to all of that because of a 12-team college football playoff. I also do believe with legal gambling now happening, there's a whole new wave of people who watch games simply because of that reason. I know you can make the case that, well, if you're a gambler, you would have bet anyway and you were doing it illegally, so I don't agree with you. I disagree. I think it's brought in kind of like fantasy football did when it started, 25 years ago, whatever. I think the legal gambling has an effect on it. But here's the problem, and you mention it. College is like pro. It really is. It's so hard. I mean, if Miami won a national title, that team felt a little bit different to me. But you rented Carson Beck for a year. And, I look at the basketball team. You guys won a national title last year. And, the euphoria of it all doesn't change. But ask yourself this. Did it feel the same as the 04s? Did it feel the same as watching these kids, develop year after year? I know when Florida State went on that 19-game win streak, which right now sounds like an absolute mirage, Jordan Travis was, the ringleader of it all. But it felt a little bit different to have Johnny Wilson and Jaheim Bell and, Benson and Cole. It did. But you still love your school. So that's the most important thing. But I think it now for fans, it's much more about the front of the jersey and the school. It's not necessarily the individual players. And, that's sad. My guess is, listen, Malachi Tony grew up in Miami. He's from there. He stayed at home. How cruel would it be if all of a sudden you find out he's going to Alabama? Georgia just offered him a price tag that he can't say no to. Again, I'm just using that as an analogy. Not an analogy. I'm using that as a hypothetical. Okay? I mean, say what you want. I want to see Tony play his entire career in Miami. Kind of the way Mark Fletcher Jr. did his entire career. We're just getting less and less of that. Unfortunately, that's today's way.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I know I've talked to you before, at least I believe I've talked to you before. The Gators winning a national title is incredible, but was it the same feeling as the 04s?
The first 04s was great. The second one was more relief because they were supposed to, and if they didn't, it would have been a huge upset. Last year's, I almost think, was the most fun because you could legit argue in 5 of those 6 games, or certainly in 4 of those 6 tourney games, they could have lost with 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, Texas Tech the most. But I'm talking about watching the players develop as opposed to bringing in new players.
Okay, like the transfer portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from that standpoint, because Noah, Brewer, Horford, Humphrey all arrived there, Torian Green, Chris Richard, you can go on down the line. From that standpoint, watching them go from freshmen into sophomores into juniors, maybe a little bit more satisfying. But, I mean, Will Richard and Walter Clayton were there for 2 years, right? Thomas Houck and Alex Condon never played anywhere else but Florida. Ruben Chinulu was kind of the outlier. So was Micah Hanlockton. But yeah, I guess from a standpoint of developing them, the 04s was cool from that standpoint because you got to see it over a 3-year period.
All right, you've already been on today with Frank talking about last night's game. What a thriller.
Oh, my gosh. You know, we were talking about that 4th and 5. First off, what a decision by Cignetti to go for it at 17-14. That touchdown by Mendoza, I mean, that's up there with the Vince Young run.
Mhm.
That's up there with, 2nd and 26, Tua to Devontae Smith to beat Georgia in overtime. And you're going to see that play, that dive for the end zone on highlight reels promoting national championship games for the next 20, 25 years.
Yeah, and you keep hearing that's his Heisman moment, and it came after the Heisman, which is really interesting, but some great stuff. I know you got a lot coming up, and I know you're aware of as well Andrew Jones in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I saw that. He and Beltran going in. Certainly you're a bigger baseball guy than I am, but when it comes to Andrew Jones, I watched a lot of him with the Braves. Terrific glove, obviously. Good all-around player. Are you surprised that he got in as quickly as he did?
Yes, but I'm surprised with everything that I'm seeing with the Baseball Hall of Fame. I think they – listen, you look at James Gladstone raising the floor.
Yeah.
The Hall of Fame has lowered the floor. Just look at the recent classes that they're. I mean,
Is it the Hall of Very Good?
Yeah, and maybe part of that is because I'm scarred by learning about the game and learning about Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio. That those are the greatest to ever play the game. I think it was Deion Sanders who said they should have a wing for the very best of the best of the best and then everyone else. But they're just allowing guys in now. You go through the Baseball Hall of Fame and look at these names, and there's very few who stand out where you say, okay, Kirby Puckett, Ken Griffey Jr., guys like that. Very few are there. I thought Jones would eventually get in, but there's a guy that was aided by outstanding defensive play.
Great defensive player. Great night for Brave fans. I mean, the fact that Andrew Jones gets in, I'm sure they're celebrating because he was a terrific Atlanta Brave.
All right, what do you got going on?
D-Rock, Mike DeRocco, ESPN.com will join me, as will Daniel Griffiths. We'll crunch some numbers, some decimal points, some analytics, wrapping up the Jaguar season.
All right, man. Have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. We are out of here. Thank you to Ryan O'Halloran for joining us. Thank you to our producer, Aaron Williams. Thank you to all of you, man. You made it a lot of fun tonight. A lot of great stuff coming in on both the text line as well as YouTube. We'll be back at it tomorrow. And again, I do have scheduled John Osher, the Philly Godfather. That is part of what we're going to do here on a Wednesday. Hacker Nation is coming up next. I'll talk with you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. My name is Rick Ballou, and this is your home of the Gators. Home of the Gators, yes. But we are the flagship of the Jacksonville Jaguars.